Welcome. You're tuned into the Cleveland Observer's Neighborhood Hero podcast, sponsored by Neighborhood Connections and the Cleveland Foundation's Black Fund. This podcast is produced by the Cleveland Observer. We're joined today with our neighborhood hero, the legendary Grandmaster Greg Mayo. He has been the bodyguard for clients ranging all over the road, from Sinbad, Jamie Foxx, Mike Epps, Earth, Wind & Fire, Patti LaBelle. I could go on and on, but we're just really glad to have you here today, Grandmaster Mayo, and want to ask you a whole bunch of stuff. Learn about your history in the city and abroad. And my first question for you is, again, thank you for joining us, is Northern Winds.
It's the name of my school. What people got to understand that Northern Wind is more than a logo. When you see Northern Wind, you might not understand that when you're taught to be a winner, you are in. You represent the wind being the strongest of the elements, whereas you have a calm lake, it's soft. At the same time, you see the tornado, which is a massive tear up, destroy everything, wind. So then you have Northern Wind. Myself, as well as my students, we reside in the north. At the same time, within the wind, W-I-N-D, the I represents the I am. I am is throughout the Holy Bible. When you see I am, that's what the God is. I am the Son, the Father. When you start thinking about what I am represents, then H-E in Northern represents male. H-E-R represents females. H-E-R-N represents herd, meaning a herd of many people. So if you do something wrong to a Northern Winder, we might come to you as a herd to take care of the business. So Northern Wind is not just a, say, logo or a patch. It's the understanding of what life is when I put this on my body, what I represent with this. And then, you know, I like to tell people that my dojo is in the hood so that they can understand that, you know, it's in a very good neighborhood. I'm over on Superior, and, you know, you have St. Clair, Superior, then you go Kinsman, Buckeye. My school is set up on Superior so that everyone can gravitate to my school. They can come to my school, doesn't matter which neighborhood you move from, west side, east side. Right now, we have students that are coming from as far east as Painesville and far west as Lakewood, even Lorraine.
Oh wow. So you're Grandmaster. What does that mean?
What Grandmaster means, and I look at the word master. A lot of times people say, you know, there's only one master. And they are truly right. There is only one master. God is the master. But within the martial arts realm, my instructor, when I first got with him, he was a 3rd degree on SASH. Then he became a 4th degree, which made him a master. Then he became an honorary master through the organization of dealing with the Chinese understanding of what martial arts is. He became a master. Then he graduated up to Grandmaster. Then at that time, given the right to be the first of this, say, organization, being a black man, he was the first Afro-American, if you want to call him Afro-American, to go into becoming a Grandmaster in the martial arts era.
He was the first
black
to be
Grandmaster.
Wow. What was his name?
Arthur Sykes. So when he passed, I had to step up from becoming a master to Grandmaster so that I could lead the organization and keep the organization strong. And up under me, I have there's a couple of Grandmasters up under me that have started their own martial arts organizations. They have established their own tutelage from Grandmaster Sean, Grandmaster Sykes, Grandmaster Mayo. And we have Grandmaster Reginald McKissick, Grandmaster Don Wallace, Grandmaster Joe Golden, and then we have masters up under, which is Ron, Brother Abe, Brother Tyrone. These are masters up under the organization. Then we have Aaron Brown up under the organization, this cluster of organizations within the organization.
What was your early life in Cleveland like?
When I was about 7 or 8, my father put me into a boxing class.
Where was that?
55th and Cedar. Forest Hill Judo was the place, but they had boxing up there too. This is when brothers wasn't even acquainted with martial arts. They knew about judo, but they didn't know about karate, because karate wasn't really something that we talked about. The Europeans were very much into karate, and Koreans were, but not us. So when you take that and you break what I'm saying, at 8, 9, my father took me to the gym, and I threw a right hook, and that boy caught me with 2 left hooks, and then a right. I said, okay, God, time out. Can't do this. My arms are too short. I can't box. So I got out of boxing. Then I tried judo. It was good, but once again, I had to put my hands on you and try to throw you. I'm a little guy. I grab you to throw you. You wind up throwing me. I said, wow. I got away from that. And then I went downtown and I saw these books, karate books. Got one. Wow. Me and my cousin Reggie got one. Then my cousin Pat came and got one. And then we started passing it on, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then at Harry Davis, I was, I think, 13. Some Europeans came over to our canteen, because we used to have canteens on Wednesday. And they started showing judo. And I said, okay, man, look, I know that, man. What about, he said, well, you want to see some karate? I said, karate? Yeah, okay. But he didn't know that I'd already got the books on karate. I'm ready now. So he threw a punch, and I tore him up. I said, oh, my God, where you get that from? I said, sir, I just like the art. And that's how it became an art to me. I like the art. So me and my cousins, every weekend, and I lived in Garden Valley. Garden Valley. We would be out there on the lawn, kicking and punching. And I happened to be from Glenville. In Glenville, I started training real hard. And I happened to be coming in East Cleveland on Hayden. There was a school. There was a dragon and a whirl on this window. And I said, wow, that's a dragon, man, wow. And I went in, and that's where I first met my teacher. Listening to In the Garden of Eden, doom, 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 doom. And I'm like, wow, what is that? I never heard that music, So he came and said, yeah. He said, yeah, well, I do Kung Fu. He said, come on, get on the floor. And karate was straight ahead. You didn't give it from side to side. So when I would come straight in, once I come straight in, he wouldn't be there. He'd be over here. Now, when I turn to see where he's at, he done tore me up. 2 hits, ta-da! Oh, okay. So the idea is what I'm saying is that Kung Fu began to show me that you have to be a moving target. Then it brought about triangles, squares, circles. Now you have an art. Now you have an idea to form something that works for you as an individual. So I'm no carbon copy of anybody. I fight my fight the way I fight my fight. If you watch my hands, you catch my feet. You watch my feet, you catch my hands. So that's what my instructor gave me. Then he told me, he said, for everything I show you, 7 different ways you should be able to do it. If I take you right, you should be able to go left. If I take you straight ahead, you should be able to back up and come back straight. I want people to understand what the martial arts is. It's not just a punch and a kick, jump up in the air, spin around, back kick like Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee. It's an art.
And you were saying even it's a science.
The science, yes. The science is that, you have yoga, you have exercise classes. What we do, we try to encompass all of that. we try to give you that the body must feel a certain way. That you must get up in the morning and do certain things when you get up. Instead of just getting up and putting your pants on and going out the door, you should get up and do a little bit of stretching. Plan your day. And all day long, watch what comes out your mouth, because whatever comes out your mouth can be a negative reaction to that person that you're telling it to.
These are the type of things you teach your students?
These are the things that we teach our students. And we have had students from 3 years old, and some of them are now doctors and lawyers.
Oh, wow.
You know, I can tell you stories about students who I've helped. You know, I'm in the hood, and I say this, I'm in the hood for a reason. I'm here so that I can help my people, guide my people, so they can understand that trials and tribulations in life are going to come, but you have to be combative enough to understand and work on your goals.
I was reading an article that was about you, and one of the things that you were quoted in there saying is that this art form comes from Africa.
Well, it's a strong point that if you think about it, when you start seeing anything of ethnic order, when you start seeing things from Africa, watch their hands and look at their feet and see what type of gestures that they have. Those are movements. Those are martial arts movements. Not named martial arts, but it is. I think, and this is only a penitive opinion, that it went from Africa to India to China to Korean to Okinawa. And that's how it came. Finally winding up in the United States. And you know what happened with that too is that a lot of the martial arts, a lot of the brothers who went into the army, they get to see karate and they get to see self-defense, and then they come back thinking that it came from China and it came from, you know, Korea, because they went over there and they think they saw it firsthand. But the true essence of where it comes from, it does come from Africa, and it's proven.
Okay. There's like Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Even the pyramid, if you look at the pyramid, it's a triangle. And that's what we fight from. We fight from a triangle.
Wow. So you, Grandmaster Mayo, how did you end up bodyguard of the Stars, Cleveland, Ohio?
Well, my biggest thing was the Agora. The Agora was located on 23rd and Chester in Cleveland State.
Oh, really?
Small little club.
Not Peabody's?
No, that was the Agora.
Okay.
Then the Agora moved to 55th. And when they moved to 55th, this is when they started bringing a whole lot of talent and celebrities and stars. But on 23rd is where I got a chance to do bodyguard for, guess who? Prince. Yeah. Prince came into town. Sheila E. was on stage playing, and she was the artist there that night. Mr. LeConte came to me and said, "Hey man, I got Prince coming to town, man, and I need you to be at the back door to let him in and stick with him the whole time he's here." I say, "Sir, don't he have a bodyguard?" "Yeah, he got one, but I want you to take care of him." I said, "Okay, I can do that." So, and I know you've probably heard the story again. Prince jumped out of the limo to come up to the door. A Channel 5 newsman had a camera, jumped out in front of Prince's face to get a picture. His bodyguard, who was a 6'2" white individual, grabbed the cameraman, threw him on the ground. Bang! So I had to grab Prince and take Prince on into the place. Because his bodyguard was busy dealing with, shouldn't have been nothing. I mean, he only had a camera. He wasn't trying to hurt Prince. But the idea is, that was my first understanding of how to do bodyguard. I said, yeah, I know how to do that. And then Sinbad came into town. And Sinbad started looking for me. He'd heard about me.
Well, okay.
And that was from going back now to the front row days.
What are the front row days?
Front row days was like the Spinners, the OJs, the Whispers, Gladys Knight and the Pips. And then they got to know me when they would come in town. I was to meet them, greet them, and protect them. Rick James, Now, Rick James was a different kind of hit. I worked for him. I had to watch the door. I had to watch the door to keep certain individuals coming from that door because they were busy doing other things, and I had to make sure that they were protected on the other end of the coin. So I've had my how to take care of people on one coin and how to take care of people on the other coin, but at the all same time, give them protection.
So Sinbad was looking for you. Did he find you? What
He found me, man, and I've been with Sinbad now for about 30-something years.
Wow.
And he's a beautiful brother, man, and, I say too much for him, Now, Mike Epps, I met Mike Epps through Rick James's brother, Carmen Sims. Carmen called me up and said, hey, man, I got Mike Epps coming. I said, wow, really? So that particular month that he came into town, I was given a martial arts tournament at the Kitchen. Everybody knows where the Kitchen is on Superior. Lou Stokes and Mike Epps showed up at my tournament. And I have pictures, every time I'm saying I have pictures to document this. Gladys Knight, Sharon Reed, Ramona Robinson, Denise DeFowler, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I've got pictures of so many individuals.
Yeah.
Alex Bouillon.
You were. What's like the something a situation where you had to really put your training to test?
It was one time in Dayton, Ohio. We had the Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto Boys, okay. Yeah,
okay.
My mind's playing tricks on me.
Yeah, and had the little midget.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And they had After 7. The crowd really came to see After 7. They didn't come to see that particular. They came to see After 7. Everybody was there proving. That group went on first, and the little midget decided he wasn't getting off the stage. And the crowd started going, yeah, get up, get up. So one of my students, Abe, I'd say it's Abe, he's a master with me now. And they had the 40 ounces, they were drinking 40 ounces on stage. So the sound man pulled the mics so you couldn't talk no more. The little midget picked up a bottle and threw it at the sound man.
Wow. And
the sound man, old gentleman, moved out of the way at the time. He moved away. Abe threw a cart, like tarp over the midget, lifted him up and ran him off stage. The crowd got back, and then they started, like there was a ramp on the side where the stage was. The crowd ran around the ramp. They gonna take it up. They gonna fight. Tell me why I ran out in front of the crowd. There's 60 people coming. Stop! They stopped.
What?
Turned around and went back. I said, oh my God. What have I? Oh! I was hit, man. I was
they felt it.
Yeah, man. They felt that chi come out of me, man. When I put my hand off, they stopped. Another time was with New Edition was here, and they wanted us to line the stage to keep the crowd from getting to them. But I kept saying, okay, that's fine, but you can't have us looking at New Edition when the crowd is behind us. So I told all my guys, turn around, man, look at the crowd, man. Put fear in the crowd, because they're going to come over you and get, So that was scary. Another time, Statler.
Who's that?
Statler Hotel.
Oh, okay.
I had Shaka Khan.
Wow.
She's in the car. I said, ma'am, before I bring you in, let me go check and see how things are going, because we were like 20 minutes late. When I went in, opened the door, went around the corner, all I could hear was glasses being thrown. I could see the chandelier doing like this. These people was fighting. My students, because they were my students, one student threw it was crazy. So I went back to the car and I said, excuse me, ma'am, at this time I don't think you're going to be able to perform. Why not? I said, ma'am, because they're tearing up that place. So we left. Now, these are all little stories that I can tell you. Like I said, it means a lot to me because, once again, my client didn't get hurt. Sinbad, 6'2". You see me how little I am. We're in Washington, D.C. We go to this club, and there's a comedy set and a jazz set. So naturally, he wants to go to the comedy set. But when he goes to the comedy set, the guy that's being the comedian is MF this, your mama like this, and that. And say, oh, man, I don't want to hear that. So we go out and we leave. So when we go out to leave, a guy's like up against the wall, and he comes off the wall and says, man, you are MF and Sinbad. So Sinbad looks like, wow, man, why you want to talk about that? And so then the dude started approaching Sinbad really fast. So I'm behind Sinbad. So I see this guy coming, so just as he gets up to Sinbad, I come around in front of Sinbad. I don't know if the guy was reaching to shake his hand. I don't know if he's going to hit him, but I tore him up. Because I didn't know. And when I dropped him and we went to the car and got in the car, Sinbad said, man, why you do that? I said, man, I didn't know if he was going to hurt you or not. I don't know. He said, well, you did right, man, because he was getting ready to swing on me, and I saw it coming. I'm glad you took care of that. So, those are things that in life you think about, but at the same time, you want to be logically wise enough to know that you don't have to put your hands up. You don't have to kick anybody. Just be a man and man up to what life is all about. Hey, man, you knew you was wrong when you came in here. Put your hands down. Lower your voice, sir. This is not that kind of party, sir. So you begin to kind of break them down mentally. That's what we talk about science. Science is understanding that I know what I can do to you. I'm not going to let you hit me, and I'm not going to let you take care of my client. So at the moment I see that my client is at risk, I take my client away from the situation. And that goes for anything. I tell you this, Dorothy Fulltime, as old as she was, she said, hey, Greg, I like you, man, because you know what? I like you because you don't carry a gun, because when you carry a gun, bullets don't have eyes. So that's how I protect people, with my eyes, my heart, because you understand, from the heart and the brain, as long as they're functioning together, you'll be at peace with yourself.
So I appreciate those stories. I mean, they're incredibly insightful into a lot of different things. And one thing that I think was sticking out to me is you clearly understand when to fight and when to
walk away.
Yeah,
walk away. Everybody's not going to win. I'm not saying I'm to be feared, be afraid of talking to me. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just a man trying to survive out here. But understanding the real world is that, I done been in, I say those in light of everything, but yeah, I've been in some scrapes. I've been in scrapes at the Glenville Festival. Every festival, they want to fight for some reason. And me and my guys, it was funny, Silver B would be on the phone. Northern Wind, we got a problem over here. Northern Wind, we got a problem. I was like, bruh, we got 35 policemen here. Why you keep calling me?
What's your vision of the city or the neighborhood that you're in?
Well, we see the neighborhood changing. I think that you see more and more Europeans moving into our neighborhood. I think that's a good thing, because for the middle class, we can all come together and harmonize together and turn this thing around. This is why I'm trying to stay there, so that I can give that older person some Tai Chi, so that younger person I can give some martial arts skills, and that when they go play basketball, they will not say, okay, after a game, we got to fight. No, let's work out. Let's do some martial arts now, instead of, turning it into a gang-related fight incident, and understanding that we're all, our skin color is all dominated by God.
Yeah, and you seem to have a very spiritual component, in connection with God through your martial arts.
Absolutely. My art is physically, mentally, and spiritually. And And the spiritual aspect of it is that you understand. Keep him first in your life. And the things that you want in life, you shall have. And he did not put us here to suffer, as some people think. And not thinking that I got to be poor. No, you don't. You know, he wants us to be minimum income, but no. He wants you to have an abundance of everything. Go get that. But just when you get it in a wave of peace. You know, not destructive, not taking something from someone. You know, and you understand too in life, the more you give, the more you receive, and that's what I'm doing. I'm in a place where I'm not making money, and I'm truthful to say that. I give my art away, but at the same time, I do have a couple of people who really come to me, and they got plenty of money, but I don't ask them for no more than come and get what I got to get, because universally, the universal principle of what I'm doing it for the good.
That's awesome. What are some of the challenges in that?
Some of the challenges in that is that you have so many brothers who have went out and learned martial arts by book, by crook, by in the basement, by John Henry coming saying that he's a 9th degree and ain't got to the 1st degree, but he can show you a punch and a kick, and little Johnny loved him because he can jump up and flip around and, you know, take his foot and put it on his nose, and that's great. So my spin on what I'm saying is that, please, when you go to a martial arts school, do your research before you jump into that class with that individual that might not take you down the right path.
What are some of the things you should look for when you're vetting a martial arts class or a martial arts form?
Well, I think that when you come into a place and you see no discipline, that little Johnny's running around like a bandit, running around, stop. No. Take Johnny out of that. Put him into a school where he has to know right from left. He has to know that just putting somebody in the head is not to take their eye out. It's to stop them. So instead of hitting them in the eye, hit them in the jaw. So you have to have those instructors who want to see you grow. You know, I would love to have 7 or 8 Northern Wind schools. But what happens is when my students get up to a certain part, they venture off and they start teaching in their basement, or they start, gravitating to other schools. Now they want to learn jiu-jitsu with the Kung Fu, and then they want to learn how to MMA with the Judo, and it turns into a bunch of crap. Because now, if you think about it, you know a little of this, you know a little of that, but you don't know about that. And when you don't know about that, that's what kicks you in the head. So you gotta have that understanding. It's like I tell a student that in order to become an instructor at our school, it takes 7 to 8 years, because you gotta have the physical, you gotta have the mental, and you gotta have the spiritual, and you gotta be an upstanding citizen within yourself, and give from the heart.
Yes, I'm curious about some of the physical training you guys do, like in Kung Fu. Does the physical training come from the learning of different movements and things of that nature? Well, are you guys doing the finger push-ups?
Yeah. We have different forms that we do within our system. We have martial arts forms that we do, representing and impersonating animals, like the monkey form, the tiger form, the snake. Praying mantis, we have all of that. We have what's called a strengthening form to strengthen the body. And once you start strengthening the body, then the mind comes into play. You start strengthening the mind. Then we have the Tai Chi, which is slow, very slow, graceful moves. But at our school, what keeps, and I say this too, a lot of people don't stay long in our school because of how we train. Right now, we have the record for doing 2,700 jumping jacks.
What record?
That's on the books. When people say, how many jumping jacks have you did, that's how many we've done.
Oh, wow.
I have a student
that's a lot.
I got a student that's in Buffalo now. He is, if you go to Guinness Book World of Records, he's the push-up king, how many push-ups he's done with so many hours. Right now, I think if you go online and see that, we did a Northern Wind Challenge. You had to do 75 push-ups and 50 sit-ups a day for 100 days.
Okay.
Then you get your total of how many you did.
So what happens to your body when you do that? 75 push-ups, you said, and 50, because I do about 30 every morning, push-ups.
You know what happens? Look.
You get solid.
You get solid.
Okay.
You didn't walk around with no flab. That's generally speaking.
Okay.
That's putting a little humor in it, but you feel good. And that's what it's about. You feel good when you get up in the morning. You feel good up knowing that, man, I'm going to bust this out today. And then call Johnny and say, hey, man, you get yours? Oh, man, I worked my job all night. I couldn't do it. Johnny, come on, man. We're doing this 100 days. So then he says, okay, man, I'll get up. And he does it. So gratification from each other doing something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the mornings a couple times, morning routine being very important. What do you do, or what do you teach about that evening routine?
Well, the evening routine is when, most of you have worked all day and you come. It's a stress release because you worked on a job and you maintained all that. Now it's time to come to here and relax. Do your sit-ups, do your jumping jacks, relax. Feel good about yourself. But my training starts 4 o'clock in the morning. And that was taught to me once again from the Grand Masters, that 4 o'clock in the morning is when the Grand Masters all come together and train. And that's universal time around the world, 4 o'clock a.m. That's when the spirits are high. Okay. And this is when we can come out. And this was something that was done with my teacher in Las Vegas. We would go up in the mountains of Las Vegas and stay up there for 3-4 days, meditating and trying to physically get in tune with life and nature. Because when you go up there, nature has a whole new program for you. Yeah.
Do you ever go up to Lake Erie? Or have you ever been to there's a nature reserve, Gordon Park? Mm-hmm.
My first school was on 55th and St. Clair. And we went down to the lake before they put the marina and all that stuff down there. And we used to be down there and we'd be training on them rocks, slipping and sliding into the water because of the mold that was be on the rocks. And we got this log that came bopping out the water. I invite you to come to my school and let me hit you with that log.
Tell me more about this log. How big is it? Where are you going to hit me with it? Yeah.
We'll get into a horse stance and we'll flip the log and catches you, give it back to me.
Okay.
And this log is like, it's petrified wood from all our sweat. So it gives you a challenge. And that's what the martial arts does. It gives you a challenge to see what the body, what the mind, and what your spiritual understanding is.
Grandmaster Mayo, it's been an honor to sit here with you and hear some of these. I learned quite a bit to hear some of your stories, and I definitely am going to stop in and tell our audience, where they can find you, and when they can find you all there, and if they wanted to take one of your classes or just come check out. Is it a dojo or you mentioned a gym?
Yeah, well, people call it a gym. People call it a dojo. Chinese call it a kun. So I just call it a training center. You come in and get what I have to offer from me and my staff, And when I say staff, I mean that I've got students who've been with me for several years, and we're family. And we want to take your family and make them part of our family. Yeah. And the more people that become our family, then guess what? It's going to be less things in the street for people to want to be mad about. Because, hey, you're my brother. When people start that you're my brother syndrome again, regardless of what color you are, you're my brother. You're my brother because you live on Kinsman. You're my brother because you live in St. Clair. You're my brother because you live central. You're my brother because you live downtown. You're my brother because you live in Lorain. You're my brother because you live in Phoenix, Arizona. You're my brother because you live in Atlanta City. You're my brother because you live in Atlanta.
Where can the folks find you?
8311 Superior. I'm right there. I'm sitting there. I'm standing outside every day looking for you.
All
Come
right.
and see me. And at the same point in time, we open up about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we usually stay there right now till about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I would like to go to 10 o'clock. All I ask is that come in with an open mind and an open heart, and we can help you.
Thank you, Grandmaster Mayo. It's been awesome, man. And you've just met neighborhood hero, Grandmaster Greg Mayo. And you can find them at the Northern Winds Training Center at 8311 Superior Avenue, 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m.